everyone! So today I wanted to show you some semi-rare Hoyas that I've bought in the past few months. When I say semi-rare, I mean ones that you don't readily find in nurseries, at least the ones in San Francisco. So the first one is the Hoya Obscura, and you can see it has these beautiful veined leaves, pointy leaves. You can also see my little clip here that I had from childhood that I never threw away because my parents and I hoard everything. So I just got that from my parents' place. You can see this one is a little darker. That's because when I first got it, which was a couple months ago, maybe a month and a half ago, it was really red. And that's due to sun stress. So when it's in really high light, it will turn red. So what drew me to the plant is the blooms. They are yellow in the middle, and then the outside part with the petals is a fuzzy pink color, and it wraps back into kind of like a ball. So it kind of looks like a fuzzy ball. So I thought it would look really cute. I'll insert a picture. For the smell of the flower, I read that it might smell like cinnamon buns or Fruit Loops. So that will be interesting if it blooms for me. So the next Hoya is a Hoya Fitchii, which I got from Logi's. You can see the price there for $14.95. I got it about 2 months ago. I got attracted to this Hoya because I saw on a YouTube video, YouTube enabled, that the flowers apparently smell like chai, and I love chai, and the leaves are actually really beautiful as well as the flowers. So the flower has a lighter pink corona, which is the inside part of the Hoya flower, and then the outside is a peachy pink, which is the corolla. The site said it was a slow grower, which I definitely agree on. It's in a north-facing window since that's the most light I get, but I try to put it as close to the window as possible. So here's an example of the leaves side to side, the Fitchii on the bottom and the Obscura on the top. The leaves are described as having webbing veination, which totally matches. It has some of that sun stress too. As you can see on the edges, it has that reddish brown color. So the next one is one that I'm super excited about, and this is the Hoya Polyneura, or the Fishtail Hoya. Just some background story of why I got so many Hoyas in the last 2 months is because my Hoya obovata bloomed for me for the first time after a little over a year. So I just went on a Hoya craze since I got to see in person how beautiful the blooms are. So this one, obviously, the leaves are also the star of the show. So they're co-stars. This Hoya originates from India or the Himalayas, and it likes to stay a little bit more wet than other Hoyas, said a source. It's in the original media, so this is cocoa coir, I think, and usually she put it in sphagnum moss, but she had run out, so here is it in this netted pot. There's some roots that are coming out of it, so it might need to be repotted. But I got this on Etsy. The flowers are a dark red inner corona, and the outside or the petals is kind of like a yellow, light creamy yellow color. Also, I'm going to keep it real. This stick right here is really gross and moldy, so sorry for that for people that get grossed out. So here's my current setup. I'm babying it, of course, because I don't want it to suffer as it acclimates. So it's in a north-facing window. You can see it's in that netted pot that it came in, and this little plastic tray with water below it. I just leave the water in there when it spills over from watering it. I figured it's probably still good water, and so sometimes I even just dip the pot, since it's netted, into that water and kind of give it a little bath. And I also spray the bag with water to keep the humidity up as much as possible. I might repot it too because there's some roots that are growing down into the water. And maybe if I get more confident as it grows under my possession, I can potentially take it out of this little greenhouse and keep it in that bath and just spray it. You can see here after 2 months, there's new growth here of a little leaf. One sibling is developing faster than the other sibling, which is totally fine. And then down here too, you can see there's new growth. And another one too wants to come out quickly. I have it in a north-facing window, and since it's in this media that's pretty airy, I tend to water it more, maybe once every week and a half or two, to keep it moist. I'm actually really bad at watering plants. I'm surprised that most of them have survived, but this one for sure, I want to make sure it's comfortable. And here, just a close-up of the leaf. Looks like a little fishtail. And the design, the veination, is so beautiful. I think this is one of my favorite Hoyas I have so far. Also, the instructions from the seller is that it's a heavy feeder, so I just give it some organic fertilizer every 3 weeks or so, or just whenever I remember to. But I think they even said every 2 weeks would be fine for light fertilizer. So hopefully this grows really long and produces some more aerial roots so I can propagate it and not have it be 2 single strands. And last but not least is the Hoya DS-70, which I got on Etsy. What attracted me to the plant was the leaves, which are this really pretty green color. It doesn't look like a generic looking green, like this rich green, and it's actually a little fuzzy too. Semi-fuzzy, like there's some hairs on it. And sometimes I think, I'm not sure if it's because of the sun, it'll have the emerald green with the darker rim around it. I've also seen a lot of the plants on Instagram that have the sun stress on it, and so you can see these wide variations of colors for it. I'm not expecting that to happen for mine because it is in a north-facing window, but that'd be really cool to see if it happens. This plant originates from the Philippines. So there's another plant that looks very similar to this called the Hoya Bertonier. And I was doing some research on the differences, and they were saying that the new leaves for the Bertonier are kind of a dark brown purple. I saw this in the listing that it was kind of brownish, so I just thought it might be a Bertonier versus a DS-70, even though it was labeled as a DS-70, so maybe it will be. But either way, I don't really care that much, but I think the Bertonier is a little bit more rare. But they do have similar flowers, so the flowers kind of look like pom-poms, similar to the Obscura, where the petals curl back into a ball. And it is a, I think, reddish yellow corona in the middle, and then the petals, the corolla on the outside, are a dark red. I can insert a picture. But this one is growing pretty quickly since I got it, which is around about 2 months ago as well. You can see the new growth here. These 2 leaves here were new growth. I haven't been keeping track of them, so ooh, super soft. Kind of like the lamb's ears that you see in gardens, but obviously not that soft, but still very satisfying to touch. And here's some new growth here. And it's in a north-facing window, and I try to spray my plants, even though apparently that's not supposed to help that much. But I do what I can to keep the humidity up with that, and then a humidifier in that room as well. All right, so that was my Hoya haul. I bought some other plants as well, a good amount of begonias, which I recently got interested in. So I'll post another video on that in the future. If you like the video, feel free to subscribe or like. Thanks for watching.